Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Players Take, episode 134. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host. He's a Lions fan, Montrell Rice.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, man? Are you excited? We got a football game going on right now. I don't know what the score is. Don't tell me. I'm going to watch it after the show. But yes, football's back. Are you ready for the Lions? I mean, the Cowboys are playing the Bucks. It's good matchup.
Did you watch that link I put in the group chat?
No, I didn't.
All right. Well, it was the story about this kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went to his family. His mom and dad went to a custody battle for him. And at the end, the judge was like, "All right, I'm going to award you to your father." He said, "No, I don't want to go with my father. My father beats me." And he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to award you to your auntie then, since I can't give you to your mother. She obviously abuses you." And he said, "No, my auntie and my uncle beat me more than my mother and father." And they're like, "Wow, okay, so what about your grandparents?" And he said, No, they also beat me. My family has a history of abuse." And he said, "Okay, well, who would you like to go to?" And he said the Dallas Cowboys, because they can't beat anybody.
Wow. Okay. I mean, oh man. I mean, I'm not going to defend the Dallas Cowboys. This rich coming from a Lions fan. I mean,
I heard the joke on TikTok and I wanted to share it. So.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We're in football season, everybody. The Cowboys jokes have ensued. The Lions jokes have ensued. We're ready. The Lions are probably going to go 2-15 this year. Yes,
I'm ready
I said
for it, baby.
2-15.
I'm
15.
ready for it, baby.
So there's 17 games in the regular season this year for every team.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget that. So, yes. A lot of fun. I'm excited. I have two fantasy teams. I won my Dynasty League last year, as I've said on this podcast. And I'm ready to dominate again and win again. So, looking forward to that. But, all right, Montrell, let's cut through the bullshit. We got a lot of news to get through this week. So, I say we just jump right into the show. How does that sound?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. Please, also, if you have questions for us, please send them to theplayerstake01@gmail.com, or you can send them to us on Twitter at theplayerstake. And I will say, I'm not watching the Cowboys Tampa Bucks game right now because I'm a professional. I care about this podcast. It is my primary focus. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's start with what we're playing. Montrell, I'll go first. I've been playing World of Warcraft, TBC Classic, and Hades. I have really nothing new to say about either one of them. Having a lot of fun with both. Hades is fucking excellent. Everybody should play it. Montrell, what about you? What have you been playing?
Tomorrow I'll be playing Tales of Arise. I got to pick it up from the store tomorrow.
I gotta buy that.
Yeah. I didn't pre-order it, but I ordered it today. And I forgot to pick it up because I just came straight home because I got off of work late. So I'll be playing that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I really haven't been playing anything besides League. I haven't even touched League this week because I've just been so busy this week actually. So I haven't really played any video games this week, to be honest with you, which is wild.
Yeah, you know what I did? You know what was weird? I was like in my Amazon wish list the other day, and I saw Zelda Skyward Sword in there, and I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna buy it. It's sitting right here. I got it, right next to me. There's the case and everything. You guys can, you hear that. Give you guys some audio. I haven't played it, and I'm starting to get the feeling I probably won't. I don't know why I bought it, but I want to play it. But I got it, time. It's the worst. So, well, cool. Yeah. So we're a video game podcast where we don't talk about video games. Great.
I mean, we do talk about video games,
I'm
but news.
I'm fucking
with the
around.
news.
Okay, I'm fucking around. All right, Montrell doesn't play video games.
I do.
He's a poser. He's full of shit. He posts
me.
like Sonic memes. I mean, you can tell he has no taste. I mean, he likes Sonic.
Wow.
You know, man, I'm fiery today. I don't know what's up with me, man. I think my job has like really thrown me over the edge, and I'm just letting it all out. You know, so okay, Montrell, like you said, we do have a lot of news. So between last week's episode and this week's episode, we had an announcement, and then it happened of a PlayStation showcase, and that happened today. Earlier today, the showcase itself was 40 minutes. There was about 20 minutes of interviews afterwards that I also watched. I don't know if you watched that stuff.
I didn't. I had to go back to work. So
Okay, but
yeah.
there was actually some interesting tidbits from that, so I'll go over that when we get into this. But so yeah, fuck it. Let's stop mincing words. Let's just get right into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was a 40-minute showcase. This I'll position it here. I kind of feel like this was Sony's E3 showcase, basically. It was very meaty. It had a lot of games in it, and it had a lot of quality stuff in it. So this had been rumored for a while. We've been hearing about it all through August. Never happened in August, but then it just here we are. It happened this month. So let's start, Montrell. First thing they show was this like little ad thing, whatever. You know, it was kind of cute, I guess, or it was kind of cool, I guess, but it was nothing like important. But the first like game they actually showed was a brief little trailer for a game we had talked about a few months ago that had been rumored, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, which is being made by, and I've been saying this company's name wrong forever now. Apparently it's Aspire, not Asper.
Oh, not Asper. Okay.
Yeah, they interviewed the I think one of the lead designers or directors for the game afterwards, and he called the studio Aspire. So yeah, I mean, this is real, dude. It's coming. It's being made by a team that's or company that is a port studio by trade. This is their first really big game, but
Okay.
nonetheless, how are you feeling about this?
Usually traditionally, port studios do really good when they make their first game, which is weird.
Well,
uh,
it's positioned like a remake too. They're not making a game from the ground up necessarily. Like they're building off of a game that already exists. You know.
well, I mean, but they're calling it a remake, right? So
Yeah,
they're
but I'm
essentially
talking like
remaking.
I'm saying like in comparison to like what Blue Point did with like Demon Souls. That game exists, and like they have that game as a basis to build their game off of. You know.
Okay.
So it's not as hard as
So,
like building something from nothing. You know.
so would you consider this a remake? Would you consider Demon Souls a remake or a remaster?
Remake, absolutely a remake.
All right. I think they're doing a remake as well. I
But
don't
they
think they're gonna
are.
use.
They are. Sorry.
I
Okay.
wonder if they're gonna use the same the CRPG type system that KOTOR had.
That's a good question. So, this was one of the interviews they did after the show. Was talking to, like I said, the guy from Aspire, and he said that this game is being built from the ground up. They're not using
Okay.
anything from the actual game.
Okay.
Beyond, I mean, you know, I'm sure they're going
Beyond
to use
this,
like
yeah, the stories
they'll
and
use the story as a framework
yeah.
and some of the and locations, of course, but like they're rebuilding all the assets though for the game. So
Okay.
so this is a remake in the same sense that Demon Souls remake is. That's kind of why I was making that comparison. You know,
Gotcha.
it's going to look completely different. It's probably going to play somewhat different in some ways, and I'm sure some of the game systems will be updated for the modern day and things like that. So hearing all that, I'm very excited about this because I've never played KOTOR beyond the part where you become, well, spoilers. I mean, it's like 20-year-old game, but the point where you become a Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
I've never really played beyond that point in the game. So I'm excited to have this modernized and be something that's playable in the modern day because the original KOTOR is a little rough
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point for sure.
Yeah. I agree. I think I wouldn't mind the actual CRPG elements. I think that will actually work well within today's standards. I mean, I don't really consider these CRPGs, but they're in a similar vein. We got Divinity Souls, which sold really well. We got
Divinity Original Sin.
Divinity. I'm sorry. Yeah, Divinity Original Sin, not Divinity Souls. I'm sorry.
Divinity Souls. That's a good name for a game, though, dude. Oh shit.
What was another game like Divinity Souls? Shit. It's on. It's or Divinity Souls. Divinity Sins. Jesus Christ. Uh, well, we got Divinity Sins, and I think that's a really good game.
Hmm.
And fuck, I think Dungeons and Dragons was the other game that
Are
came
you
out.
thinking of like Baldur's Gate or
Baldur's Gate.
Neverwinter
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Nights or
yeah.
Arcanum or
It was Baldur's
Pillars of
Gate.
Eternity is a more recent
Pillars of
one.
Eternity. Yeah, Pillars
Yeah,
of Eternity and
yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Where
Those
they're
are
like active pause
exactly.
combat.
Yep. And I think we're actually ready for that, and we're actually are not ready for that, but those have been reintroduced into mainstream gaming, and
Hmm.
a lot of people do like those games, and those games sold well, like millions of copies, not like 20 million copies like GTA or anything, but like maybe like 1 or 2 million where they garnered enough support and
Yeah.
DLC and things of that nature. So I wouldn't mind that, but I also wouldn't mind them incorporating like maybe a CRPG action type deal. Like maybe you can do action, but you can also pause the game, almost like
Hmm.
I don't know if you got almost like what you call it, Dragon
Oh,
Age Inquisition.
Dragon Age. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
almost
Yeah.
like
Dragon
Dragon
Age
Age.
Inquisition. That's a good. That's kind of. That's actually a great comparison. That's exactly what I think they're going to go for.
Yeah, and I
Is
think
that
they
game?
should. I mean, obviously, don't use that same engine, but
Of course. Right.
use that same model. I think Inquisition or the Dragon Age series in general is a really good staple for them to like take off from.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure they already talked to BioWare, and BioWare probably has some kind of consulting with it or whatever. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. So
Yeah, I think the game. I think the game is either going to be one of two things. It's probably going to be Dragon Age Inquisition style, or they're going to do away with some of the CRPG elements and make it more of an action RPG, which I wouldn't be opposed to necessarily.
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't
Um,
be opposed to that either.
but I mean, either way, I think this game modernized with new visuals, and I don't know. Would you be opposed to new content, or would you rather they stick to
I
the
would
original?
I would like new content. I mean, what I want them to do. This is like a pipe dream, but I would actually like they keep the original voice actors because I thought for the
Hmm.
most part, 90% of them were very
They
fucking good.
might. They might.
And
That's a possibility. I mean,
I
Xenoblade did that.
yeah, and I like for them to keep the voice lines and stuff like that. Yeah, and just kind of do what Xenoblade did, just kind of work around those voice lines. But they
Hmm.
want to add more content as well, and we only have to evolve those voice actors because maybe some of them, knock on wood,
Mm,
have passed on, or
hmm.
they don't have the same voice quality they had
Right.
almost 20 years, 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll understand that. But I would still like to see new content or whatever, or some kind of hope, or just fucking do KOTOR 2. Like, just because there is
Yeah.
KOTOR 2 out there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And maybe this will, I mean, this is gonna sell gangbusters, dude. Like, if it's
Yeah.
well made and looks good, I think this game's gonna sell like fucking crazy. So I mean, it's very possible that we could end up with a KOTOR 3 down the road here. But
I'm hoping this game
yeah.
does really well with the Star Wars fan base, so
Hmm.
well that they kind of garner some kind of like attention for Hollywood to be like, maybe we should do a storyline
Or
or
a
a
TV
movie
show.
or TV show set in this time period. Because
Hmm.
for people who don't know, who are familiar with the original 9 movies, um, Couture is like way back, like 2,000 years back, I think. But they
Yeah.
still have all the same tech or whatever, if that makes any sense. So a lot of the tech is still the same and everything of that nature. Still Jedi, commandos, and everything of that nature. But it's way more Game of Thrones. I hate using this comparison, but I just do it for common sense. It's way more Game of Thronesy. Like people would kill each other and everything of that nature for
There's a lot of
to
political intrigue.
yeah, a lot of political intrigue, especially within the Sith High Order. There's a lot of political intrigue.
Hmm.
So I just see a lot of potential in that part of the franchise that's never really explored outside the games and books.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, we don't have a date or anything like that, or even a window, but it's real. And I will speak to Aspire's quality as a studio. In my experience, playing any games that they've ever ported, they have done pretty much an excellent job with anything they've touched. Most of the issues I've seen over the years with them are more related to the company that's actually made the real game that they're porting, or made the actual game that they're porting. Is that company kind of drops the ball and fucks them over, and they're the ones having to deal with the angry fans. So
Okay.
I think they're a really good studio. I'm excited to see their work here. I'm and the guy they interviewed did mention too that they specifically hired for this game. Like they hired new talent that was outside of their normal realm of skill
Okay.
sets for this game, and that includes people who actually worked on the original KOTOR. So,
Oh shit.
um,
Okay.
so
Cool.
yeah, so there's some stuff to be excited about with this game here. I'm this will be really cool to see. So hopefully we see it within a couple of years, but we'll see. I'm hoping the next time they show this, they better have some gameplay though. I definitely want to see this game in action for sure.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. The next game they showed, dude. So the next one they showed was called Project Eve, and it was, I mean, the article I have up here, the live blog, compares it to Devil May Cry, which I guess is a comparison, but um, I gotta say, I didn't know what this game was when they showed Eve on the screen, and I was like, wait, is this like Parasite Eve or something? But
I didn't
no,
even think of that, but that's funny. I didn't even think of that.
it's completely separate. It's made by a completely different company. Has no relation to that at all. But it's called Project Eve, and it's like a sci-fi action game. Like in a what would be a post-apocalyptic world of some sort. And you are playing a female protagonist, who is very agile, extremely skilled with a blade. And you're fighting these very disgusting creatures in this game. And I gotta say, this game looked really fucking cool, man. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it actually reminded me of a really old game, called PN03 that Capcom made. And it was like it
Mm-hmm.
was like a dancing shooter esque type game where the girl was third person and she would like dance while she's shooting people and stuff like that. With her, she's like, it's like a futuristic game or whatever. That's what it reminded me of. But obviously, there's no shooting in this game. But the character and the style of the game reminded me of that. But it's kind of like Bayonetta meets Near meets Devil May Cry.
That's kind of what I was thinking more near. Yeah, I was definitely thinking more near than Devil May Cry. The way the character moved definitely looked a little bit more like near to me, but
Yeah,
especially the attacking and in the like the movement, the pure movement. But I like the enemies look really uh horrifying and also looked very challenging. And just the style of the like the UI and everything actually looked really cool. It was very stylized, which I appreciate games that don't just go for like a generic looking boxes for everything. They're going for a very distinct style here. So I think it looked cool. I don't remember the company that this was that's making this game, but it's kind of I don't think it's somebody that's made a game before. So or if they have, I don't know them. But also didn't get a date, I don't think, or any kind of window for this one either. But um, I'm looking forward to it. Also, the characters in there were speaking. It didn't sound like Japanese to me. I don't know if you caught what language that might have been that they were speaking, but
I
it
want to say it was Mandarin or Korean.
that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking the same thing, one of the two of those. But I don't have any people. I don't know anyone that speaks either of those. At
Yeah.
least recently in my life. It's been a while since I've been around folks that spoke either of those languages. So I don't know for sure. But yeah, it definitely didn't sound Japanese. So that's actually kind of cool to me. I like I like that. I actually would like more games to explore other languages. Outside of English and Japanese. But we'll see. I'm sure we'll see more of this game soon, and if we get more in-depth gameplay, we'll definitely go over it. So, okay, next game that was shown. We've actually heard about this game before, but we got a little bit more of an in-depth trailer of it from Gearbox, a Borderlands game. but it is a spin-off, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is so just to kind of give people context here if you don't know about Borderlands history. So Borderlands 2 had multiple DLC packs, and the fourth one was called Tiny Tina's oh my god, I can't remember the name of it. But basically it was like a D&D fantasy adventure. It was like it took place in a made up world that she made up. But it was the best piece of content in Borderlands 2 for the most part. In my opinion, it was one of the most fun things. So I think what they're doing here is they're taking that idea and making an entire game out of it, where you actually play as a character within her made up world, and you are a fantasy character that is like cast spells and whatnot. But there are actually guns in this game too. So it is a Borderlands game in that sense. Like you will get guns, you will get loot. It's probably going to play very similar to previous Borderlands games, but it will have a medieval spin. You will be fighting orcs and goblins and dragons and shit like that, rather than the normal sci-fi ish enemies that you normally fight in Borderlands game. But Montrell, did this appeal to you at all?
No. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm done with Borderlands. It looks cool, but it looks like I don't know. Borderlands 3 was like meh to me. I played a little bit
Yeah.
of it and I just put it
Yeah.
down. This one looks like it's going back to like, and this is just me looking at the thing, like the Borderlands 2 style of gaming, but with like
Yeah.
the polish of Borderlands 3. And if that's the case, I may give it a shot, but I don't know, man. I'm so tired of Borderlands. I wish I'd do something else with the franchise, I guess. Um, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well, I guess I'll say a bit because I do have a history with this franchise.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this game a shot more than likely because like I said, I do personally believe that DLC from Borderlands 2 is the best piece of Borderlands content that I've played. It is
Mhm.
it's the most memorable thing I've ever played of Borderlands game, like in a Borderlands game. I really like Borderlands 2 overall in general, but that
Mhm.
DLC in particular is just so cool and super fun to me, and an entire game in that concept I think is appealing for sure. But I think my problem here is like they seem like I'm starting to think they're like a little lacking in creativity for this series. Because the idea that you're gonna set a game in this universe and then you're just gonna like make it a Borderlands game with like a medieval skin is like the fact that there are guns in the game that are like fully automatic and all that stuff is like, why though? Like why didn't you like
And that's my point right there.
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they could have done like a still had the Borderlands
Skyrim
theme.
kind of game or something in the Borderlands
Yeah,
universe?
yeah. It could have or they could have did like yeah, like a Skyrim type game, or it can be like a Borderlands type game, but instead of with guns, you're using like apocalyptic medieval weapons. Like they're
Yeah,
set in that universe of Borderlands, but they're still like medieval, like you know what I'm
like
saying? If that
steampunk kind of weapons, yeah, or
There you
something
go,
like that.
steampunk kind
Yeah,
of weapons, and
yeah.
they're not necessarily like guns or anything, but they're like swords and like maybe like
Well, you might have a
fucking fire.
musket or something, or like
Yeah,
like a heavy
or
pistol or something. But
yeah, or like a
yeah,
fire fucking chainsaw or something
yeah,
that
like
looks
a
like a fucking sword.
flamethrower, yeah,
Yeah,
fire chainsaw, yeah, yeah, right. And they don't seem to be going in that direction here, which is like
yeah,
it's disappointing. It's like it just kind of feels like you're taking Borderlands 3 and wrapping a medieval skin around it. And while that might be fun, that could be fun. Like
it could
Borderlands is
be.
fun.
Yeah,
It really depends on the game balance. That's like the thing that's going to make or break this game for me personally. But like it just I just like watching this trailer though and thinking about it and reflecting on it a little bit. And I'm just like, man, it's just like I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Like I feel like you're out of ideas. It seems like you've lost the. You're like,
and was it just me, or does Borderlands, like when I watch Borderlands 2 trailers, they don't really focus on the guns, they focus on the abilities. And like this
yes,
game was like the trailer was like, oh, we got so many guns. And it's like, yeah,
yeah, I
I
think
did
they've
like the
lost what's appealing about the series. It's like because
yeah,
they started showing like a loot shower in the middle of the trailer, and I'm like, oh,
exactly. Yep.
here we go. Like, oh yeah, we get it. You have loot. It's like that's kind of my point. Is like they always keep harping on the same things when they show these games, and it's like, I mean, the loot in your games isn't that good. You know, like as a looter, like a game with loot in it. Borderlands is pretty subpar in that regard. Like this
It
isn't
was
like
it
Diablo
was all about the
2.
care. Yeah, it was all about the character build, in my opinion. Like how
Right.
you build the characters and
And the
stuff.
way
Like at
you
least in
play the
Diablo, I mean,
character.
at least in Borderlands 2, that's how I felt. Like it was the way
Yes.
you built the character that
Right.
made this difference. Because I remember people used to play Zero and had like different builds for Zero in
Yeah.
Borderlands 2.
You could be a
So,
sniper. You could do a melee build with him, like a one
yep,
shot melee build, which was super
yep.
fucking fun, by the way. But yeah, Borderlands 3, like, and this is why my point about balance is like Borderlands 3 completely shifted the focus away from abilities to guns. Like the guns became the most important part of your character, not the character's abilities or build, or like talent trees, and that fact was so disappointing to me because like that's what made Borderlands 2 so fucking good was the abilities were fucking awesome. Every character pretty much except for what's his name? Axton, the one with the turret. Basically everyone else though had excellent, activated abilities that were really fun to play with, and Borderlands 3 just didn't have that for me, so maybe that'll be different here. They did show a lot of ability usage. There seemed to be like spell casting of some type, and maybe there's multiple different characters that use different spells, or maybe you can use multiple spells on one character. Maybe that's a thing, or maybe the spell is like a equipment slot. That could be a thing
Hmm.
too, and it's like replaces your grenade, kind of thing.
Yeah, yep.
So that's a possibility as well. So we'll see. It's coming out on March 25th, 2022. So further packing that 2 to 3 month window at the beginning of the year next
Oof,
year.
man,
Yeah,
I hate it.
yeah, I agree with you, man. Like I don't think we're gonna be able to. Like we're gonna be playing those games for the whole year, like all the shit that's coming out at that point,
Exactly.
But we'll see. So I'm sure we'll see more of this game as it gets closer to release. All right. Next game was Square Enix. Okay, dude. So we finally got something like really concrete for this game, Forspoken, which has looked cool every time they've shown it. But they actually went like really pretty in depth this time. And so the premise of this game apparently is that a girl in the real world gets sucked through some portal into another world, and that's like kind of the main premise of the game. She acquires this artifact that gives her powers of some sort, and that's I'm sure where your abilities and your gameplay comes from. But there's a lot of like fantasy elements here where she's like fighting dragons and other monsters, and these what look like mages of some sort seem to be a primary enemy of hers as well. But the action and the combat looks pretty sick, and the movement looks pretty sick too. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, I was actually impressed. Not many people can do a spellcaster game that has really good combat, but this one looks like it's going to have really good combat because usually spellcaster games turn into like a almost like a shooter, but you're just shooting out your hand type deal. But this one looks like an actual like I have power spellcaster type game, and the traversal looks really fucking cool. I'm just really impressed by the game so far.
Yeah, there was some really cool traversal elements. The character seems to be able to move through the air somewhat to some degree, and then in combat, the combat looks interesting, like you said, where there seems to be like the magic system might be a little layered here because there was a point where they were showing one of the enemies that was like a primary. It seems like maybe one of the primary enemies in the game, and that person like broke a barrier of some sort on the character. It looked like to me, so
Hmm.
like almost like she had a protection spell up and it got broken. And so I don't know. Maybe that's just like an inherent, like maybe the character is like a shield that's like passive or something like that. But that might have been it. Maybe it's an activated spell too or something that the player had up, or something
Well,
like that.
yeah, we even if it's a passive, like that's already more advanced than a lot of the spellcaster games out there
Hmm.
right now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but I don't know. We gotta look at it more before I get too hyped about it. But I was really impressed by it so far, though. Like,
Hmm.
um, I even like how they showed in the trailer, like, yeah, you're not all powerful, and the boss character just completely decimates her, at the end of the trailer. So I thought that was really cool too. Like we don't see enough of that in the games, to be honest with you.
Well, and you think the idea, I think the other part too is the fact that the character comes from the real world. You think would be like kind of cheesy, like almost like children's booky. But I
Yeah,
don't know, it kind of worked for me here. I actually really like the dialogue around that in the trailer. And
yeah,
it
me too.
it sounds kind of appealing. I think this game could have a kind of an interesting hook to it. So I'm excited to see more. It is coming. The window they gave was spring 2022. So put us in that window that we were talking about. Hopefully not. Maybe it's more like May or something like that. But um, the fact that they don't have a firm date, maybe it's a little more likely it gets delayed to later in the year too. But we'll see. Anything else you want to say about this one?
Nope. I think it's just gonna be really cool. I'm actually impressed by it. I was kind of worried about this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm actually super impressed by it and kind of hyped for it.
Well, this was the game. I don't know if this was at E3 this year or last year. Oh no, it
Well,
was this year. No, it was
this
this
is
year.
the
Yeah.
game.
Remember
Well,
when they were doing their montage of games that at their Square Enix presser? This was the game that played for like 10 seconds where I was like, this was like the best 10 seconds of gameplay in the entire fucking thing,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
This was
I
that
thought
was
they
this
showed
game.
this.
So
I thought they showed this game for maybe that was a different game. It was a different game. I thought they showed this for the Unreal Tournament or the Unreal 5 engine, but that was a different game that they
oh yeah,
showed.
no, I don't think so. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I've been impressed by this game every time I see it, which is encouraging. That's a good sign, and so hopefully we'll see more soon. Okay, next game, Rainbow Six Extraction. They showed
Next
more of
game.
this. I skipped this when I was watching back the video, so we're not going to talk about this because we don't care about it. Okay, after that was Alan Wake remastered. They showed. Um,
Yes.
this was a misdirect, dude. This was a total misdirect because they showed Remedy's name, like they showed like Remedy Entertainment or whatever they're called.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, they're gonna show Remedy's new game already? Holy shit! Oh fuck, like Control 2 or something. And no, it's fucking Alan Wake remaster. Which I mean, it looks cool. It's never been on PlayStation apparently. But I was like, man, come on, dude. Like you gonna do us like that? This like midsection of this showcase was definitely
It was the
uh
weakest
it
part.
was
Yeah.
definitely weak. But have you played Alan Wake before?
Yeah. I played on the original Xbox 360. It was an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Um, and I played the fuck out of it. I love that game. It's not necessarily a jump scare horror game. It's more of one of those psychological horror games that you play. Like
Hmm.
I don't know if you played this one game called Eternal Darkness. It
Yeah.
reminded me a lot of that game. That was on the GameCube. And that game kind of had the same feel where it wasn't like a straight up like Resident Evil zombie shooter game or anything. It was more like a psychological one,
Yeah.
more like a Silent Hill esque. And this game kind of took qualities of the best of both worlds from those games and made Alan Wake. So that's why I always had like a kind of respect for Remedy. It was just a shame when like Crown Break came out and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, this game looks. I mean, this game, even the remaster, looks good. I'm going to play it again because I completely forgot the whole plot and everything. So I'm actually excited to play it again.
Nice. Yeah, I may check it out too. It is a vague window of fall 2021. So
Okay.
it should be out soon, more than likely. Next up, GTA 5, GTA Online. They're coming to PS5 March 22nd,
Yeah.
which it's
There you
weird that
go.
it took them a fucking year and a half to port this game to PlayStation 5, but I don't fucking whatever. Okay. Moving on. The next game they showed was Ghostwire Tokyo. More of this game. It, it looks like Ghostwire. Everything they've shown. I mean, Montrell, what did you think? Are you into this? Are you not into this?
So
Where are
this
you at with
part
it?
of the game, I actually had to do something. So this trait of the thing, I didn't see Ghostwire. I think I
Okay.
came back and I already skipped it.
Okay.
But if it's the same gameplay, then I'm still kind of hyped. I'm not hyped for it, but I'm going to give it a shot. It looks like one of those games that's like I can fit in between, the down period in the
Mm-hmm.
summertime, and I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna try it during that time.
Yeah, I have no interest in this game. I just like every time they show it, the gameplay looks wonky. I just don't. I don't think it looks that great. But it also is it seems to be a horror game, so it's not really for me.
Yeah.
But they did say 2022 on this one, so it's it seems like it might have gone into development hell at some point, which makes sense because they lost their director. What was her name? I forget that woman's name. That she was at E3 a few years ago, and everybody loved her. But
Yeah.
yeah, she left the company, a year or so ago, I think, and that was probably a pretty big blow because I believe she was like the lead director on the game or producer.
Okay.
So they seem to have had some struggles, but it is funny too because like Microsoft and Bethesda basically pretend that Ghostwire and Deathloop don't exist. They've never mentioned those games like ever since Bethesda was acquired.
Yeah.
And it's basically 100% on Sony to market this, which I mean makes sense. They're exclusive to PlayStation, but still, it is a funny thing. Okay, after that, they showed more footage of Guardians of the Galaxy from Eidos. I continue to be intrigued by this game. I do think it looks good. I'm excited to play it. It's coming on October 26th. Montrell, anything new for you on this one?
Not really, unfortunately. Um, this was Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know, man. Every time I see that game, it looks cool, but it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just want it to stop looking like a PS4 game.
Yeah, I don't think the game can escape that. It's just like it just looks like a PS4 game. It
Is that the
definitely.
budget of the
Yeah.
game? You think that's like the budget that I would
No, it's
think
like
they
the
would give it?
style they went for, dude. It's like if I were to describe what a PS4 game looks like, it would be this game and Marvel's Avengers. Like that like and I'm like I'm saying that in a negative way. I guess I mean it negatively, but not really. It's just like that's what I would think of when I think of a PS4 game. These games don't look like what next gen should look like or current gen now. PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Mm.
They just have that like almost like Uncharted like look to them, kind
But
of
not
where
as polished as Uncharted.
but yeah, but not as polished as Uncharted. It's like if I were describing a generic looking PS4 game, this is what I would describe. Probably. So but I mean the game still looks good though. I think the dialogue is pretty like sounds pretty snappy. The plot looks interesting. It looks really crazy. So in that regard, like the game has me intrigued, for sure. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean
know.
the combat looks really cool, and yeah, like you said, the dialogue is pretty funny so far. I like the trailer. A lot of people say the dialogue was kind of corny, but I don't know. I thought it was really cool. It reminded me
Mhm.
of the movies and everything. I actually do. I hate how Star Lord looks. He looks like Jake Paul or
Oh, and
Logan
the way it
Paul.
sounds too, like I think the guy playing him is actually doing a good job, but his voice though, the like tenor of his voice is off, Like
Yeah, his. I think it's the direction, the way the direction of the director is telling him to use his voice, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I don't
Yeah.
think that's on him. I think it's
No,
actually
I'm
a
not saying it's on him. I'm
yeah,
just saying like he just doesn't have like he doesn't sound right. It's not any necessarily anything like he's actively doing wrong. It's like you said,
yeah,
maybe being directed to sound that way.
yeah.
But I guess we'll see when we get the full game though. So
Yep.
October 26th, like I said, coming on Switch, PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox, XS, Xbox One, so everywhere pretty much. All right, next game. This was the roll your eyes moment of the showcase. We got a battle royale announcement, and it's a vampire game. So battle royale, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. Um, who's asking for this? Is my
Actually, a
question.
lot of people were hyped for this game on my timeline. I don't know about your
Oh,
timeline, but a lot of people were like, "Yo, this looks dope."
man.
The game actually reminded me of this old ass PC game, free PC game. I think me and Jet talked about it. I don't know if you played it. I don't think you played it. It's called Guns Duels.
Mm-hmm.
And you used to walk, run. It was like an arena shooter, third person. You had swords and shotguns. So you can walk around with your sword, or you can switch over to your shotgun. It's like an anime type game,
Yeah.
and you can like wall run and do all that shit like that. And that's what this game reminded me of, because you can use swords in this game because you're deflecting bullets, and then you can switch over to like guns and use powers and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
what it reminded me of.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be fun. I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure it will be fun, but I just like it just seems so random in the middle of everything else that was being showed. It's like, I mean, this is the second thing Sony's done in a row too, where they've shown a battle royale game. Because they showed what was that one from last time? The Hunt, I think, or something like that. I don't remember. Um, so I don't know. I think at this point, like BR, I won't say it's played out, but like I don't know you should be making a BR game in 2021, Um, but this game's probably been in development for years, so who knows? All right, after that, they once again showed another Deathloop trailer, dude. Like at this point, I'm like almost annoyed. Like I just like God, I just want this game to come out so Sony will stop fucking talking about it. Like every time they've ever done anything in the last like year and a half, they've had a fucking Deathloop trailer, Like we
Yeah.
fucking get it. This game's coming out and it's an exclusive and it looks good, Like I don't know.
I will be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's first person. Even though a lot of the first person games that we've seen so far have been like really cool looking, for some reason this one doesn't really grab me that much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's going to be designed for replayability, and I'm not that type of gamer that likes to just do all like play the same shit over and over again and do different things. Like I used to be that type, but now I kind of don't have time to do that. So that's
Mhm.
why it doesn't appeal to me. But I can definitely see why this will appeal to like a Hitman style gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like how you can go in and do the mission several different times or something like that, or like
Yeah.
Dishonored or anything like something of that nature. So
Mhm.
yeah, but the game looks dope, but it didn't grab me. It's not going to grab me, but I'm pretty sure like for you and the other people, it's like looking really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, but I'm like, okay, so Tails is coming out tomorrow, which I think that's the next game I'm absolutely going to play, like single player. And like Deathloop comes out next week, and I'm like, I'm not going to have time for Deathloop right now. I want to play Deathloop. I definitely want to play it. This game is really appealing to me, but I just got to find a place for it cuz yeah, I don't know. It's like PlayStation's almost like shown it too much cuz
Yeah,
like I said
maybe
it's to the
that's what it
point.
is for me. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what it is.
it's oversaturated. Like it's
Yeah,
almost like I'm annoyed
I
when I see it now.
I think that's what it is. I think I will give the game a shot. I think I'm just like I get what the premise of the game is. I know what's gonna happen. I mean, I'm not know what's gonna happen, but I know what to expect from the game. Now I just want to play it. Like that's where I'm at with the game as well. And I
Right.
understand from a company standpoint, you want to keep this in your heads, but we literally seen this like every like you said, every conference, bro. Like I don't know. I feel like I even seen it at E3. I think that's how I feel. That's what I feel like. Maybe they didn't show it at E3.
I
I
think they
feel like
I
I
think
did
that
though.
I think they did. Or I think no, I don't know. I don't fucking remember, dude. I just feel like we've seen this game like 80 million times. It's like they've almost showed us the whole fucking game at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Like so, yeah, whatever. The game's getting a lot of good preview coverage, so it sounds like it is good, but you know, we'll see when we play it if we play it. All right, next game that was shown was Kid Amnesia Exhibition, which I don't even remember what this was. I think it was like a horror. It looked like some kind of horror game. Um,
Oh, this was the one. I didn't even. First of all, they didn't even show the name of the game in the original conference. They
yeah,
didn't show it. All they showed was this trailer that you see because they were on the same link. Oh, maybe they did show the thing, but all I saw when I looked up, it said coming in November. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's
yeah,
the name of the fucking game? Yeah, but they didn't show any gameplay footage, so I don't know how I'm supposed to get hyped for this game. You know?
right. Same. But all right. After that, they showed. Okay, so this next game is called Tachia, and it's styled as a tropical adventure game. And it looks like it's just an open world adventure game. Very cartoonish. I like kind of Pixar-y, I guess, or DreamWorks esque in terms of style. Um, looked cool. This isn't a game that really appeals to me necessarily, but I think this could be an interesting title for people who are looking for something a little bit more chill. Not a game where you're like murdering things all the time. I complain about that a lot. That video games are often just
Yeah,
all
power
your
fantasies.
yeah, your objective is always just to kill things. I don't think that this is that game. So
And
if
that's
you're looking for
exactly why I'm going to buy this game.
yeah, yeah.
I am tired of that. This game looks pretty chill. It reminds me of a Lilo and Stitch because
Mhm.
it does take, it is that culture.
Yeah.
Um, I think I don't want to be offensive, but I think it is that culture, that type of culture. Um,
Well, yeah, it's
so
like tropical.
yeah, and yeah, I was actually so when I saw this trailer because I remember we talked about it before, so I knew what the game was when I saw it. But yeah, the trailer kind of sold me on it. Like it gives me that Kena vibes. Um, is that what it's called? Kena?
Oh, Kenna, yeah, yeah,
Kenna, yeah, it gives me that vibes, but like on a cheaper scale and a different type of deal you're doing. So
yeah.
I'm gonna get it because I like game. I learned to appreciate games like that. I didn't used to like
Mhm.
games like that when I was younger because you're edgy, fucking edge lord. But now I'm like, hey, I like shit like this now. You know?
Well, yeah, it is a nice change of pace, and I think the thing is, this game I think could be something I would like for sure. I actually think I probably would like it. I think the problem is like the trailer did a bad job though of selling me on what you're even supposed to be doing in this game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's
what's
true.
the objective of the game? I have no fucking clue. Like so and maybe that shouldn't matter as much, but it kind of does. Like I want to know what my primary objective in the game is, and when you show me gameplay I kind of want to know like what is the minute to minute or second to second gameplay like really look like, and I didn't get a huge impression of that in this trailer. So but this does look like it could be very cool. It looks well designed or well done, and has a lot of exploration elements to it that look fun. So we'll see. I don't believe they gave any kind of date or anything for it though. So I
Yeah, I
think
don't
we're
see a date for it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
So I'm imagining we probably won't see this at the earliest until next year probably. So okay, moving on. After that, there was Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy.
Oh my god.
They show both of these games. They're coming to PS5 and PC, which confirms a rumor we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yep. I'm
Uh,
glad
this is
PC people get to play a game.
this is the next PC game, which is honestly, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that is a cool thing. I think Uncharted on PC will actually be pretty popular. It is weird though that it's Uncharted 4.
I
I
thought it
find
was
that strange.
I thought it was the whole collection. It's just those two games.
No, it's just those two games. Yeah, yeah. 1, 2, and 3
Okay.
aren't coming to PC yet.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
That's-
it's if you want to play it, you'll jump in at the end of the end of the series rather than the beginning. But it did say early 2022 as well. So
I'm actually glad this is further proof that PlayStation is actually willing to go to PC and explore that route.
mhm.
And hopefully in the future, like they will release games maybe like a month after the game comes out on the PS5, they release it on the PC version as well. Because I
Yeah,
think games like definitely like Horizon and God of War, those games will definitely benefit from being on PC because we not only will you get like the PC, but the mods and everything like that would be funny as hell too.
I could see later in this generation them being day and date together. Um,
Okay.
because by that point Sony may look at it as we've saturated, you know, like they're not going to like completely fill their market with um PS5s, but when you forgot, let's just throw a number out there, 80 million PS5s out there, is there value in withholding a game so that you can try to get people to buy a PS5, when you have that many out there, whereas you could just put it out on both and sell whatever copies you're going to sell,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I don't know if that tactic really works on PC players. Like, PC players are going to play on PC. They don't like a lot of them just don't. They're not moved by this like exclusive bullshit. They don't really care.
Yeah.
We'll see. That could be interesting to see, but it's another game on PC from PlayStation. So, all right, the back part of this showcase was Sony. I'm just gonna kind of just say it here. They just kind of put the dick on the table at this point. This was they literally like it felt like the showcase was about to end after the Uncharted thing, and then they like stopped and were like, all right, we're gonna give you here's some updates from PlayStation Studios. And I was like, oh shit, are they about to show like multiple exclusives coming up? And that's exactly what they did. So the first one they showed, and dude, they splashed Insomniac's logo on the screen, and I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, already? What the fuck, dude? They just
I thought it was going to be Ratchet and Clank DLC. That's what I thought. I wasn't even hyped.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay,
I didn't. That did not even cross my mind. But yeah, dude, because we had Ratchet and Clank a few months ago, 3 months ago, and then we had Miles Morales not even a year ago, and it's like they're already talking about the next games. Like, holy shit, dude! Insomniac, they're fucking psychos, dude. Like,
I hope they're not getting crunched over there, man. I just really hope.
I think they just have a fuck ton of teams, man. Like, I think they're big. I just think they're a big team, big studio, and they've just been super successful, and Sony's invested in them, and it's paying off. Man. Yeah, as they should. Yeah.
I think Tim reported that they paid $229 million for them to acquire them.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest steals in like video game history, straight up.
Yeah. Because in my opinion, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but in my opinion, that should have been the $4 billion company that they paid, that Microsoft paid for Bethesda. That's what they should have did for Insomniac.
At least $1 billion, dude.
Yeah, at least $1 billion. I would have paid $4 billion for Insomniac, bro. Like, no, they're talented.
Dude, they're so good. Like, they've made their money back for Sony, like, fucking probably 10 times over at this point. Just with the 3 games they've made since they were acquired, It's like Jesus, man, they're fucking crazy, dude. So let's say what the game is, though. We'll probably tease people. They're probably like fucking screaming at their radio right now. What's the game? God damn it! So it's another Marvel game. And it was just a short teaser, but Wolverine. So they're making a fucking Wolverine game.
Dude, man, me and my group chat was just talking about Wolverine. We were like, man, we haven't had a really good Wolverine game since on the Xbox 360 when they had that really brutal Wolverine game. That was actually really fucking good.
Yep.
And we haven't had anything else since that. And yeah, man, like now Insomniac is making a Wolverine game. I have total faith in the game. Like total faith.
I mean, dude, if anybody was gonna make a Wolverine game, it's Insomniac. Right? Exactly. I mean, dude, they've proven over 2 Spider-Man games now that they know how to do this shit with the superhero stuff, And the idea of a Wolverine game from them is just like I like it's weird. I'm like almost blunted in my head. Maybe I'm just tired. I wasn't like that hype when they showed it. I was like, oh shit, like that's a huge announcement, but I wasn't personally that excited. But like I'm sitting here, I've been thinking about this whole thing though ever since I watched it, and I'm like, man, a fucking Wolverine game from Insomniac could be fucking badass,
I'm gonna do a hot take here. I don't think the combat's gonna be anything like, because people are like, oh, the combat's gonna be really good like Spider-Man and stuff like that. I don't think they're gonna do anything like that. I think it's gonna be really brutal and gory, like God of War. Yeah
man. That's what I was thinking. The only other studio I would think of in Sony's stable would be Santa Monica to like make a game like this. But Insomniac, I think they can do it, and maybe even collaborate with Santa Monica in some way. Because I agree with you. I think this game is combat's gonna be fucking violent as shit, But that's my hope, at least. I'm hoping they do not hold back with that. So yeah, man, fucking Marvel Wolverine. I mean, this game's probably bare minimum 2 years away, probably even 3 years away. But it's pretty nuts to think that we could end up with 6 games from Insomniac by the end of the generation.
That's crazy.
Realistically, because like there's another game we're going to talk about from them that they showed. They put a 2023 date on. If this is 2023 or 2024, that's only 3 years after the console comes out, and then there's another 3 years for the rest of the generation. And they're probably working on other stuff too. I'm pretty sure they're working on a VR game, and they may have another team doing something else too. So like, yeah, man, we could legitimately get 6 games from this studio in an entire generation, which is nuts. Like, that's nuts. None of Sony's other teams have that output. Like, Naughty Dog put out 2 games in the last generation. Santa Monica put out fucking 1 in the last generation. It's like, and here's Insomniac just churning them out, dude. So this company's a well-oiled machine at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about that before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. Next game they showed was Gran Turismo 7.
Did you talk about? Oh, wait, did they show that? And then they showed that. Okay,
then
never
they
mind.
showed that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Gran Turismo 7, which the game looks awesome.
Okay. Hot take. Yeah. I think fucking Forza looks way better. I'm just gonna go out there and say it just now.
I'm sorry. I kind of agree with you. The way they showed this game,
I was not impressed at all.
I was falling asleep through this one. It was a short trailer. It wasn't that long, but I caught myself like dozing when I was watching this one. And it's kind of a shame for me because like I was actually excited to maybe give Gran Turismo 7 a shot, and I still might. But I'm kind of with you, dude. Is like, you know what? I might just play Forza on Xbox. Yeah, because I have Game Pass, and fuck it, I'll just play that. That game actually looks dope. So
yeah,
I don't know. They don't position the game well. It's like, ooh, here's a fucking car, and it's driving, and it's turning, and that's the trailer.
Here's the fucking parts for the car. Like, yeah. I was like.
Yeah, here you go. What? Put decals on the car, baby. Like, you
know this is probably like an earlier build of the game, but the environments look like shit. And I'm like, bro, like look at Forza. Look at Forza. And then you look at this game. I literally did that. I went and checked the Forza trailer after that. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm getting Forza. And I know, Dennison, if you're listening, I know you probably disagree with me because you're like a huge car fan. But bro, this game does not look fun in the slightest.
They clearly put the effort into the car models because the cars look fucking amazing.
The cars look fucking amazing.
Dude, holy crap. I'm like, god damn, they legitimately look real. Like, straight up. Like, I'm like, god damn, dude. But yeah, the rest of it just, it's like, I don't know. Maybe as a car sim, like a simulation game, it's probably phenomenal. But
from what I heard, right, and I read like on the forums and stuff like that, and people were saying like this game is actually designed for, because this game apparently has a huge fucking E3 scene, like not E3 but esports scene. So like it's just designed for that. And like I'm looking at the trailer now. Yeah, the fucking car looks fucking amazing. I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. I was watching on my phone, so take that how you may take it, but I wasn't impressed with the environment. Yeah, but like now I'm looking at it, these cars look fucking yeah. This
for real. Look at that. Look at the fucking like the sun, the reflection of the sun shining on it. Like, dude, oh my god, man.
Yeah.
But then you see that like city in the background. It looks like shit. Like like what the fuck? Like I'm like, man, like you're like, you got these like amazing like realistic lifelike cars in this game with amazing reflections and just lighting and everything, and then they're driving through PS2 environments. Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know. And then they showed the first person part, and I'm gonna be honest, it didn't look good. I'm like, this doesn't look good. I'm like,
And then compared to like Forza's, right? Forza's first person looks really fucking good, and I'm like, I saw this first person, I'm like, whoa, this is not impressive. Like that, I'm looking at it now, like, it just looks like the textures inside the car are like really PS4-ish.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, I know it's a car game, and the inside of a car is just going to look like the inside of a car, but it kind of just looked like the inside of a car, and it was really boring looking. Like there was nothing going on there. It's just a black dashboard with a wheel, and that's like, I mean, okay. I mean, I'm being nitpicky, definitely,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But no,
still,
the cars themselves though, they outdid themselves with that shit. Like
Dennis is
that
gonna
looked.
text us, dude. He's gonna be like, y'all are stupid. Oh shit! Yeah, we are. I'm just gonna agree before he even says anything. Okay. Well, GT7. It's coming on March 4th, I believe, is what it said. March 4th,
I
2022.
just got March 2022. I don't got March 4th. Maybe they
No, in
added.
the
Oh,
actual trailer.
okay, yeah, I do see
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
in the actual trailer it said March 4th. But after that, Insomniac came back and they had another game to announce, which we knew was in development, of course, but they showed Spider-Man 2, and they had Peter and Miles teaming up together in this trailer, and Peter had his mechanical spider leg contraption on his back or whatever. So new gadgets, looks like, and then they didn't say anything in the trailer though, which was interesting. The whole trailer was just the villain that they revealed talking, and it was
Hmm.
Venom. So Venom's going to be
Yes.
in the next game,
Yes. And I'm hoping we
and
get some DLC if we play as Venom.
dude, nothing got me more hyped than that. When it was like, I'm sitting here like listening to the guy, and I'm like, okay, who is this? Who is this? And then it clicked, and I'm like, I think this is Venom. I'm pretty sure this is Venom. And then the voice changed, and then they show him real quick, and I'm like, fuck yes! Oh shit, yes!
I was in the office trying to contain I was trying so hard not to scream. I was like, oh my god, it's fucking good.
Mhm.
So one thing I do like about this game, and I've been reading some of the Spider-Man comics now, and a lot of things that the movies don't do, but that the game has been doing, in my opinion, is showing that Spider-Man uses gadgets a lot, and I feel
Yeah.
like they're going to be going into that more. He did use gadgets in the last game a lot, but I'm appreciating like the spider legs and everything like that. I feel like he's going to be even using more gadgets to fight crime and shit like that. So I'm pretty impressed by that.
Yeah. Yeah, which is cool, because I feel like the gadgets in the first game were really lackluster, actually, like
Yeah.
underwhelming. They weren't
Yep.
they were not super useful. I did not use them very much. Um, and I barely upgraded them. I put most of my upgrades into combat. So from what I remember, so yeah, hopefully there is more of an emphasis on that. And I'm gonna say this now. I'm like 99% positive we are probably gonna play as both characters in this game. I think that would make sense given that
Yeah.
we've had a game with both of them. They're kind of seemingly sharing the spotlight in this trailer. They're both being framed together for the most part. So I think they're going to be kind of protagonists in this game, and maybe Miles will have a little bit of a lesser role than Peter, and maybe it'll be like 70-30 Peter to Miles. But I'm gonna bet we're probably gonna play as both.
Yeah, you can probably just choose who you want to pick for like the time being. They're
Oh, that
pretty
would
sure
be
they're gonna be.
interesting.
They're probably sure they're gonna be certain missions where you gotta play one as or the other. But like doing the free roam, you can probably just pick whoever you want to pick and do that.
It's just like it's like a fighting game. You choose your character,
Yeah.
and it plays some cheesy music, and it's like Miles, Peter, but that'll be cool. So this looks awesome. I mean, sounds awesome. They didn't show us any gameplay, so I don't know how it looks, but I'm sure it'll be good. They did put a window on it too of 2023, so
Which I
um,
expected, which is
right.
okay. Yeah.
Not a surprise. Yeah, we don't need it next year. Next year is going to be fucking packed. So
Yeah.
we're fine. Packed with the last game they showed. They finally fucking took the covers off this fucking game. They showed God of War Ragnarok, and what'd you think, man? Oh,
What you want me to say, man? I was already impressed. Like they
okay.
just showed I was impressed. Only thing I am, and I know I may get killed for this. I am disappointed that we're not going to be able to play as
Atreus.
Atreus. I really
Wait,
wanted to
you
play as
don't know
Atreus.
that. You don't know that.
We don't. You're right. You're right. You're
You
right.
don't know that. My speculation, I think Kratos is going to die in this game. I
You
think
think
he is.
so?
I think he is. They foreshadowed it at the end of the last game. Spoilers, I'm sorry. Oh god, if you haven't played it, but yes, they foreshadowed it in the last game. I really think that's going to happen, and they're going to transition the series over to Atreus. I think that's what's going to happen, and it's going to be emotional, and I am actually probably gonna cry. Like, which is weird to say. I don't think out of any game that I would feel like would make me cry, I wouldn't think it would be God of War, but I don't know why, man. I'm really attached to these two. Like that, dude. That game from 2018 just fucking it hit me hard, dude. That there's just so many moments in that game where it's like I really felt emotion playing it. It's just so well done. So I will say I might get flamed for this too. My only criticism of this too is because they showed a lot of gameplay here.
Hmm.
Um, is that it really kind of just looks like God of War? It just looks like more God of War. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like it's really super innovative.
Yeah.
I don't think it's pushing the series forward as far as like not anywhere near as far as the one from 2018 did. It looks like it's really just continuing what that game did, and it's almost like we're just continuing from where we left off there. It's like, I mean, I'm sure there will be new mechanics and new abilities and new items and probably even new weapons. And maybe we will be able to play as Atreus at certain points and maybe even upgrade his gear if that happens. But that's like the one thing that kind of like, but the thing is, that's like, even if that's all we get, that's still probably going to be a 9,
Exactly. Yeah.
like it's going to be a fucking phenomenal game regardless. So, um, let's get back to the hype. Uh, okay, so they showed Thor. They showed him briefly, and he talked, and he sounds like a motherfucker, like like he's gonna be a pain in the ass
So
for
somebody
Kratos.
dropped screenshots of him. I don't know if that's the actual Thor though. I'm not
Mhm.
sure, but he looks like kind of overweight, and I like it. I like the overweight Thor. Like it looks like
Well,
the
think
overweight
about it.
Thor.
It makes sense the way they described him. Okay, we're gonna get into spoilers here. So if you didn't play God of War, skip ahead
Yeah,
or
skip ahead. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, in the first game, think about it. Like they had like destroyed their realm basically. Like these guys were assholes, the Asgardians, right? Odin, Thor, they were pieces of shit. Makes sense. Like everybody's fucking dead. Like all the humans are dead for the most part. Like there aren't any denizens or anything. Like what do they do all day? They just sit in Asgard probably and eat grapes. Like so it kind of makes sense that they would be fat, like that he would be fat potentially. Like, what does he do? Like, what does he even do with his time? Like, he probably just lazing around doing nothing, dude. So that kind of makes sense. I also, it's pretty crazy that they showed Freya as an enemy already. Like, she was attacking Kratos in the very early parts of the trailer, like trying to fucking kill him. So it seems like she's going to be a constant kind of enemy dogging you throughout the game. I would guess that would be my guess. Um, Wanting to get revenge for what happened to her son in the first game.
Which is
Um,
her fault.
I
Spoiler
know,
alert.
right? She's gonna be an annoying character the whole game. I'm gonna
I
be
know.
like,
I'm gonna be
yeah.
so annoyed. Yeah, man.
There's that, but they also showed the lake from the first game is completely fucking frozen over. I mean, obviously they're in Fimbulvetter, which is the winter before Ragnarok begins, and so that's interesting because it's frozen over, and you were being led along on a sled pulled by wolves. So it's like a different mechanic. You're in the same area, but it's like totally transformed, which is cool. I think that's an actually really cool thing. So that's interesting. Also, you're gonna meet the Norse god of war. They did show him in the trailer, Tyr, which is also fucking cool. And then there was also a character. So they interviewed the director of this game, and we did find out that Cory Barlog is actually not the director for this game. He didn't step down, but they decided to give it to somebody else who was a very like a long tenured employee at Santa Monica. And Cory Barlog is just kind of the creative director for the studio right now.
Okay.
But that director did say, I think his name is Eric. He said that. So he said a few things that were interesting. He did reveal some stuff about this game. He said that Ragnarok will happen in the game. Like the game is called Ragnarok, and he was like, it would be silly to call it Ragnarok, and Ragnarok doesn't happen in the game. So he basically confirmed that Ragnarok's going to happen in the game. He also said that um he also said that Odin's in the game as well. And he
Okay.
has a voice actor, and we are going to meet him. He also mentioned that Odin is like he kind of I don't know if he intended to let this slip out or what, but he said that Odin is like kind of an old man and doesn't really give a fuck about anything. Like he's just like just chilling. He's not living in a castle or anything like that. Those were his words. He's just like living and he doesn't really give a shit, you know? So, which that is interesting as well. I kind of wonder how that fits in based on everything we heard from about him in the first game. Um, so little bits of lore there. I'm really excited about this game. I don't need to
Well,
see anything else.
I saw the end of the trailer, and there was like a little black girl, and a lot of people were speculating that that may take them into another realm, like the Egyptian realm or something like that. And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah,
that's kind of what me and you predicted. But
yeah.
I mean, that would be cool if we just went into another after they got done with this realm, they go into another realm or something like that.
They just realm hop. That would be pretty cool. What I will say is he did confirm who that character is in the interview.
Oh, okay,
That
okay.
I forget what her name is, but she is one of the last giants that exists in this world.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So yeah. So she's gonna play an important role as well. So yeah, man. They didn't put a date or anything on this. I'm kind of guessing. I think they're going to shoot for fall next year, but I have a feeling it's going to get pushed to 2023, like early 2023. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I
What do you
wouldn't
think?
mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want the best game possible as well, um, but yeah, I mean, just hearing Atreus and Kratos kind of yelling at each other again too is just like so it's just so like nice to hear those characters interacting again. So it'll be interesting. I will say one thing I'm kind of hoping they dialed down a little bit is the like loot aspect of the first game. I didn't really
Oh
like it.
yeah, it
I
was
didn't
kind
really
of
like it
unnecessary.
personally. I felt it was unnecessary, and I'm kind of hoping they maybe get rid of it or make it a little simpler, I guess, in this one. But I'm sure we'll see more of it in the future. So, anything else you want to say about that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, what did you think overall, man? How did Sony do on this?
They won E3 without being at E3,
Yeah.
so all is forgiven for their shitty ass state of plays. Yeah, you know what? If they just did this twice a year, I think I would be. I think I'll be okay.
Right. Well, okay. So that's what I want to talk about here is that they called because I remember when this was announced last week, and I think I sent it to you, and then you were like, my expectations are high, and I agree with you. And then the more I thought about it over the course of the week, I was like, you know what? This is probably going to be big because they called it a PlayStation showcase. They didn't call it a state of play. They positioned it
Yeah,
as something different, and inherently meaning that now, like any state of play they announce going forward, I'm inherently going to be like, well, this probably is going to suck. Like they've like killed that branding, in my opinion. Like with this showcase, they pretty much killed state of play.
yeah,
Because yeah, like this showcase is the best thing they've done since probably E3 2017. Like it was everything we want in these kind of digital showcases. It had third party games that were fucking at the beginning. It was like hit after hit after hit. There was like 5 games in a row that were like fucking badass.
yep.
And then there was a lull in the middle towards the end, but
I
then
mean, you
like
can predict that.
the end was like 4 fucking exclusives in a row, 2 announcements of games we hadn't heard about, and then they showed us God of War, which we hadn't seen yet, and went into GT7 some. I mean, it's like pretty. It could have been better, but I can't really think how much better it really realistically could be without them shoving everything they're working on into one conference.
Exactly, and
Which
I
they'll
don't
never
think.
do.
I think I think a lot of game studios have learned not to do that. Even though they did it here, where they didn't really give release dates. Now I think the expectation for when we have games that are without with release dates, we're like, oh, okay, it's like 2 or 3 years out. Whereas we were getting games like last generation. Remember, we were getting games that they showed at the beginning of the generation that didn't come out to the end of the generation, and the generation was
Mm,
almost 7 years, right?
yeah.
So that's I don't think people like that, and I don't like that. Don't show me the game if it's not ready. If it's not 2 years out, don't show me the game. So I think a lot of game companies learn from that aspect because, um, yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo actually set the bar for that because Nintendo does this now, where they like, hey, we got this game. If it's coming out next year, this year or next year, they really rarely do 3 years out. I think they get a lot of flack, and as they should, for the Metroid Prime 4 reveal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like they get a lot of flack for not having anything, like having not revealed anything in a while, but it's because they do what you said. Like they don't really like revealing games too early. Like Zelda's another example, like Breath of the Wild 2, that
mhm.
they announced pretty early. And then even the original Breath of the Wild, I think they announced pretty early as well. But those are pretty big exceptions to me. Usually they don't really announce games that early. So I think that strategy works. I think this works for Sony because I think for Sony right now, we're only like 4 months away or 5 months away from their last announced game, being
Yeah.
out, and that's Horizon Forbidden West. And it was getting kind of conspicuous that we had heard literally fucking nothing about what was coming after that. And now we have an idea. God of War will be after Horizon Forbidden West. I'm sure there are other games that haven't been announced that will probably maybe get sprinkled in that are smaller, in the middle of next year. But you've got Gran Turismo March 4th, as well, coming. So we have a little bit more of a picture of what next year is going to look like for Sony, where we had nothing really before today. So I think it's a good strategy for them. I would anticipate we probably won't get another one of these like this until probably E3 next year or around E3 next year. I don't think like if it's two a year, like if they do two of these a year, it would be every 9 months. I would think, you know, something like that to kind of space
Okay.
them out. So that's kind of what I would think, but we'll see. I mean, I think the thing is about next year too is like after April, I don't even know what the fuck is coming out next year after April.
And I actually love that. Leave
Yeah.
me. I will have enough games. The amount of games that are coming out and the length of those games, the
Hmm.
replayability of those games, I predicting are going to be astronomically high. And then we still have games coming out at the end of this year that we have to purchase and stuff like that as well. So I'm
Right.
actually like looking forward to all that, and then we're probably going to get even more reveals at the middle of next year. That's going to be for the end of next year. So I I actually love that aspect. I love how um all three companies actually did this. That there's like a cloud right there because we know that's like the hot gaming time where around the holiday season where
Hmm.
good games or not good games, but games that are with high expectations come out, and I'm actually like super hyped for that cloud because I don't know what's coming out. So
Yeah. Right. Um, yeah. So, it was a good showcase. Very much worth the watch. If you haven't watched it, I'd still go watch it even after listening to us. There's a lot of really good trailers in there
yep,
that are definitely worth watching. And even listening to the interviews afterwards, it's only about 20 minutes of interviews. There's a lot of good information in there that we may not have mentioned if you want a little bit extra, especially about God of War. They definitely went pretty in depth there and gave a lot of information. So yeah, that was a showcase. It was really good. I'd say Xbox, um, the only one I can think of that really compared was probably E3 this year. Their E3 was pretty good, but
yeah, that was a
I
really
don't.
good E3 this year, but it wasn't. They just didn't have any heavy hitters like they did for like
Right,
PlayStation.
right.
We we are still waiting for all these studios they acquired, which I'm hoping next year will be
Mhm.
like their big Xbox showcase type deal.
Right. Yeah, which they have enough studios at this point to be able to do the same thing that Sony just did,
Yep,
and they could probably do it every 6 months. That's how many
and and, it,
studios they have. So,
and it's been about almost 2 or 3 years um, since some of these studios that they acquired have been working on stuff, so
yep.
they should have something to show.
Right, right. It's getting conspicuous for them that
Yeah.
we've not heard anything, So we'll see. We will certainly let you guys know once we get announcements. All right, moving on. We got some other news to talk about. This next one is Sony related as well, because there was a little bit of a hullabaloo. Oh my god. Last week, early this week as well, about Horizon Forbidden West, which was announced. The release date was officially announced, and then afterwards, Sony said basically that you would have to pay. You could buy the game on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, but the PlayStation 4 version would not have a free upgrade to PlayStation 5. You would have to buy it separately, I believe. I don't I don't remember how they originally positioned this, but I think in this case they made it like you needed to make the full purchase on PlayStation 5 even if you bought it on PS4. There wasn't like a $10 upgrade path like there is with Ghost of Tsushima.
Hmm.
Um but there was a lot of backlash to this, and Sony, like Jim Ryan, went on the PlayStation blog and actually announced that okay, this one we are going to do a free upgrade if you buy it on PS4, but any future first-party exclusives, both digital and physical, you will need to pay $10 to upgrade from PS4 to PS5, which will apply to God of War and Gran Turismo 7, and then other exclusives that are cross-generation as well. Which the reason there was backlash on this one is that Sony said in the past they had a quote out there that Horizon Forbidden West would have a free upgrade path for PlayStation 4 players. So they kind of put
Okay.
their foot in their mouth on that, and that's probably why they ultimately changed the decision here. But what do you think about this whole situation? How do you feel about it?
Um, I think it's fair for them to do that. I don't. I think it's actually shitty for them to say one thing and then go back and do another, but then they have to
Mm-hmm.
go back and change it. So I'm glad they actually listened to the feedback, and I think it's fair for them to set up the expectation now that it's going to be a $10 upgrade. I'm just glad that I don't have to pay $60 or a extra additional $30 for an upgrade or anything. Like I think a $10 upgrade for the PS5 or whatever version is fair in my opinion.
I just think it's weird because no one else is doing this right now. You know, it's funny that Sony's kind of on an island with this. Like, because I think I think it was EA came out after this announcement happened, like before they, said Horizon would be free. EA came out and was like, if you buy FIFA on PS4, you'll get it on PS5 for free or something like that. And I was like, man, Sony's getting like fucking dunked on by EA, like, or whoever it was. I don't remember. It might have been Activision, EA. It was one of the big boys that are like super greedy, Like Sony feels like they're really trying to nickel and dime people with this to me, which I just don't understand like the decision making here because Xbox isn't doing this, and they're probably not going to, especially now that Sony is doing this. I just feel like they're not going to because like their whole thing is like they have like a system set up for this. It's called smart delivery, where you put your disc in or whatever, you start your game and it knows what console you're playing it on, and you don't have to download different versions. There's none of that bullshit. Whereas Sony's like version of this is such a fucking convoluted mess where if you put in a PS4 disc for a game, it's going to play the PS4 version of the game on your PS5. You have to specifically go download the PS5 version with your disc in, your PS4 disc in the game in the console,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can play the PS5 version, but it's not digital. You have to play it with the disc in, even your PS4 disc. So it's fucking weird as hell, the system. It's really convoluted. It's easy to miss. It's easy to not understand. It's easy to not even know you're playing a PS4 version. It's happened to me. It's happened to me. It's happened to other people. I just think this whole thing is like an unneeded complication that they've created, and it's like an unforced error on their part, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but hey, Horizon free upgrade. It's good for everybody. I think the other part about this too. Sorry, I'm rambling right now, but it's just there's one other point I want to make is that I think they're putting people like the further out we get, the more okay this is. But right now, these consoles are still hard to find. And we actually have another story coming up about how the shortage is probably going to continue with these. And it's really shitty of them, in my opinion, to put people in the position of having to choose between buying a PS5 version or buying a PS4, like buying a PS5 version and hoping that you can get the console, or buying a PS4 version and playing a lesser version of the game and not being able to upgrade without paying more money, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of shitty too. So, but all right, let's move on. Our next story, also Sony related. They actually have acquired another studio, which is coming out of fucking nowhere here. But they have acquired Fire Sprite, which is a Liverpool-based studio that has worked with Sony. They actually made The Playroom, which is Astro's a VR game. It was a VR game, I think, set in the Astro IP, within the Astros IP. And they are actually made up of former Sony Liverpool talent, which is weird. So basically, that studio shuttered. Many of these people went to work at Fire Sprite, and now Sony is acquiring that studio full of former talent.
Okay.
Basically. So this is a VR studio. This isn't a big acquisition for sure. This is more them just filling out their roster with certain types of studios they need, but another acquisition nonetheless. Montrell, anything on this?
No, this studio also worked on, or still working on, rather, uh, Star Citizen Theaters of War, which is like the multiplayer, which is
Mm-hmm.
another multiplayer part of Star Citizen, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So they're also doing that. So they're getting persistent money from that, which is actually, I guess, going to Sony technically too as well. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder if that deal will continue. I assume it would, but um, I'm I doubt we'll find out. So, all right, let's move on. Our next story from GameIndustry.biz. So Toshiba uh, has said that they believe the console shortage may last through 2023. They said basically that the shortage of chips, supply chips, will remain very tight until at least September of next year. And in some cases, there may be some customers not being fully served until 2023 with this. So, I mean, this chip shortage is probably going to become like a fucking famous thing in the future, because we're already a year plus into it at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and the idea that it could go for another 2 years potentially, or a year and a half even, is, I mean, insane, dude. Like, it has turned the market for electronics into a horror show. Like, trying to get almost anything that isn't a cell phone is just so painful right now, dude. And so, I mean, what do you think about this, Montrell?
I expected it, but yeah, it's pretty much because I actually follow a lot of YouTube channels that follow graphics cards and stuff like that. So they actually already announced this, like maybe um a lot of people were probably predicted this based on articles like a couple weeks ago. So I'm
Mm,
not too surprised right now. What I am surprised is I did read this article, and it looks like Microsoft, Google, and Apple formed a lobby group which aims to promote semiconductor manufacturing here in the U.S., which makes fucking sense. I didn't know that we weren't doing that in the U.S.
mm.
So not only is that a good thing, but it will create jobs here as well. So I mean, it's a win-win for everybody in that aspect. So
No, like,
hopefully,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're right. I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
Well, yeah, because like the vast majority of these chip makers, I believe, reside in like Taiwan, dude. Like,
Okay.
legitimately. And I think part of this, I don't want to get political here, but this is an inherently political topic when you talk about Taiwan in this frame. That I think there is concern that China will go in on Taiwan at some point in the future. And I think that's another reason
Mm,
these companies are actually trying to legitimately do this, because they are afraid they'll lose control of their supply chain, even more than it's already not in their control. So um, I think there's multifaceted reasons, but it makes sense to also divest somewhat from that. You don't want all these manufacturers in the same place. That is bad. that means that if anything bad happens to that particular place, a whole industry could be fucked, you know? So, yeah, so it makes sense. That's good. I mean, I think it's beneficial to everybody probably in these companies and even for the consumers to get some of the manufacturing in the US as well. So,
Yeah.
all right, we've got one more story here. This is a big one. Well, kind of a big one. Very controversial. So, the CEO, who is, I would say now, former CEO of Tripwire Interactive, his name is John Gibson, stepped down from Tripwire Games this past week because he tweeted out that he was in support of the law that basically was banning abortions in the law in Texas that was basically banning abortions after 6 weeks and allowing private citizens to basically report anybody trying to help someone get an abortion after a 6 week period of pregnancy with a $10,000 reward. And let me see if I can find the exact tweet here. And I'll read it out. Yep, here we go. Quote, proud of the U.S. Supreme Court affirming the Texas law banning abortion for babies with a heartbeat. As an entertainer, I don't get political often, yet with so many vocal peers on the other side of this issue, I felt it was important to go on the record as a pro-life game developer. And this tweet, what I just read, not exactly I don't know how to describe this. It's not aggressive. It's not an aggressive tweet. He's really just stating his opinion and his position for the most part.
Well, let's read it and then let the listener formulate their opinion, but then we can formulate ours. So
Okay.
state the tweet.
Well, that is a tweet. That was the end of the tweet.
Oh, that was the. Oh, well,
Yeah,
there you
well,
go.
getting into the discussion here. So, okay, that was the tweet. Let me lay out the rest of the facts. You're right. That was the tweet. This created a massive shitstorm within the game industry. Influencers, media, other game developers, including Cory Barlog, fucking went at this dude. And to the point that his company, Tripwire, basically forced him to step down. Or he voluntarily stepped down. I'm not sure which or the other happened. But Tripwire, after the fact, released a statement basically denouncing his comments and saying that it didn't represent their values or that didn't represent how they feel about their communities or anything like that. And how they didn't want to be represented that way. So this guy basically got thrown out of the industry after this. So I guess Montrell, I'll let you start. How did you feel about this whole situation?
While I don't agree with his statements, and I don't necessarily agree with pro-lifers in general, I don't think his statements were egregious to the point where he had to step down. Um, it is a free country; you're entitled to your opinions. And I know it's not. I know majority of the time it's not what you say, but how you say it. And I think this is an excellent example of how someone said their opinion without trying to offend other people. He just stated his opinion and his feelings and thoughts on the situation. And I don't think he should have been chastised for that, or I don't think he should have felt the need to step down. But I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Then I'll say what I have to say after that.
Okay. Yeah, I largely agree with what you said. I don't agree with his stance. I don't agree with the Texas law. I think the Texas law is extremely heavy-handed, and
Yep.
also the bounty part of it is completely draconian. And like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they're like deputizing private citizens to like tell on their fucking neighbors. You know, kind of. It's
Yep.
like, what the fuck are we doing? But regardless of that element of it, which we can talk about the abortion part deeper if you want, but I don't think this statement was intended to be offensive. I also don't think it was stated in a way that is offensive. It was just a statement. Like, he's just stating his opinion. It was very mild mannered, I would say. He was just putting it out there, and people jumped down his throat, dude. Like, Corey Barlog's tweet, like, I gotta be honest, I was kind of disappointed in Corey's reaction here. Like, I don't agree with what Corey said. Like, literally, let me read this quote. Jesus fuck, man, really? You're about you are all about this fuck Texas bounty law that pushes us closer to some kind of Gilead dystopian religious state? Really? I mean, what the fuck, man? Seriously, how can anyone be proud of claiming dominion over a woman's personal freedoms? And end quote. Regardless of what you think, like, this is like a professional game developer talking to another professional game developer, and it's just like, it's unprofessional, I guess, is my thought of it. It's like, man, I don't know. Like, I like, if I were in the industry and I saw this dude's tweet, I don't think I would react that way. I would probably just ignore it, let it go. Like, whatever, he can have his opinion. Because the thing is, this position that he has is not like, it's not like it's some niche thing where he's like a fucking Nazi. Like, no, this is a pretty common position. Like, pro life is a very common position in the United States, and the idea that the people on the other side think that those people are heinous assholes is like really like cartoony to me, because there is an element of gray here. Like, I don't believe pro life. I don't subscribe to pro life. I'm a pro choice person because I think that is the fairest way to deal with deal with situations that can arise from unplanned pregnancies and things like that. That's the most equitable way to deal with it. But I can understand how somebody believes that once it has a heartbeat, it's alive, and you doing an abortion is killing that entity, you know? And
Hmm.
I get that being a position. I don't think it's like definitive one way or the other, you know? So that's where I kind of get a little. I think it's kind of crazy what happened to this guy. I think the fact that he's like basically been ostracized, lost his fucking career, lost his job, like probably destroyed his reputation within video games. Like, it's kind of nuts, dude. Like, I think this is way overboard for what he said here. Um, but yeah. So
Yeah,
I know you had more you wanted to say. Go ahead.
yeah. I guess it was just kind of to reemphasize that I don't agree with like what he said and everything of that nature, and um I understand as me being a black person and um everything of that nature. I understand how hard it is for other people to say to have a different like, oh, it's not just an opinion, this is my life, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel about when there's certain police reform and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just an opinion, this is
Mm-hmm.
my life.
Mm-hmm.
As when people just treat it as politics. So, and I say that to say this is women's lives, this is women's bodies we're talking about. So it is, I understand why people are upset that you can have a quote unquote different opinion, because it's not just an opinion, this is their lives.
Mm-hmm.
um so I just wanted to get that out there. But in the same sense as well, I don't think his opinion was like, I hate women.
Right.
I just think his opinion is rooted in a religious thing that he feels like is coming from a good heart. You know what I'm saying? A
Mm-hmm.
good. It just didn't seem like he's like the I hate women type of person just
He's
from
probably
this.
a perfectly fine human. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I didn't get
And,
any kind of malice or vitriol from his tweet. You know.
yeah, and that's why I'm upset about it, because it wasn't a malice or vitriol tweet. Um, but like I said, I guess I can see why people were upset, because it's like I I don't want to say like slavery, right? People like, well, what if he said a nice way of saying like, hey, as a Southern person, I actually support Southern state rights, and that's what the South did in
Oh
the
man.
Confederate side, and
Yeah.
people were like, well, Montrell, he's actually saying he supports slavery, and it's like, yeah, I guess, fuck, you got me there. So it's like that's the balancing act here, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why people acted so irrationally towards it, especially Corey Bog. Um, but in the same sense, I don't think he should have lost his job for it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if anything, I'll be straight up honest with him. If I was his close friend, I'm like, yeah, dude, you probably shouldn't have tweeted that. Some things don't need to be said, and that's
Yeah.
one of those things that didn't need to be said.
Right. Well, yeah, and I mean, I think it's like I find it odd that a person like him too. This is kind of another place I am with this issue. This particular issue is that I have my opinion on it, and you have your opinion on it. We all have our opinions on it. But I am not like a vehement uh like supporter of pro-choice because I'm not a woman. Like I'm not directly affected by it. So I find it weird that they're like, because I will say his tweet is like pretty strong. He's like proud of the US Supreme Court affirming the Texas law. Like it's kind of weird that you feel that way, dude. Like that's kind of what I agree with what you're saying. Like, why tweet that, bro? Like it's like, because you're not a woman and you're basically like you're agreeing with a law and super happy that a law got put in place that like really restricts women's abilities to like deal with things out of their control sometimes, like an unplanned pregnancy or a rape case that results in a pregnancy. Like
Exactly, and
you know.
that's why I had to kind of back up my statement with that,
Mm-hmm.
with my previous statement, because it is a, when you really think about it, because I was thinking about it too, and I was just like, it's a really heavy-handed statement, even though he did say it nicely. It's still a really heavy-handed statement that you were so happy about this, like,
Right.
um, and most people that are pro-life are also pro private, citizens and the government. I don't want the government doing anything for us type deal.
Well,
Um,
some of them are probably anti-vaxxers. You
yes,
know,
man.
they're like
Um,
out there because that was a thing I saw going around. Is there were a bunch of Texans like protesting like "My body, my choice" and whatnot,
yeah,
and it's like that doesn't those two mindsets don't make sense. Why is it "my body, my choice" when it comes to you getting vaccinated, but when a woman wants to have an abortion from an unplanned pregnancy, it's not "my body, my choice" for them? Like so.
exactly. And their defense is, well, it doesn't involve a life. So,
But I would argue
I'm,
you're wrong. It's science says
and
you're wrong. Like,
and that's where the whole issue comes into play.
yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, not to just get hung up on it because I know we're a video game podcast, but it is a major topic. Um, I thought it's weird on both sides of the fence, right?
Yeah.
I say this for men, not women, but for men, I feel like this is not our fight. Only thing we
Yeah.
can do is support the women that,
Right.
on each side or whatever, whoever,
Mhm.
you want to support or whatever. And that's what I do. And the majority of the women on my side are pro-choice. So therefore I'm pro-choice. It just makes sense to me. I'm also an independent. So I want little government regulation as possible. So yeah, and this I don't want someone snitching on my
Yeah.
sister if she moves to Texas and she has an unplanned pregnancy.
Mhm.
And I think that's where the issue comes into play. I think a lot of people would change their minds when it's their relatives or close loved ones who are getting snitched on for 10K and getting sent off to jail and shit like that. Like this fucking what's that fucking show called? Oh my god, what's it called? Where something like 1 in 10 women can have fucking babies and shit like that. Like every girl
I don't know.
watched the show. Oh my god, it's like on Hulu. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know the show. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna call it like the
Failing you.
Homelander. The Anyway, it's like that show.
Oh, wait. Is this like a drama?
Yeah.
Is it The Americans?
No, oh no, it's not that one.
The
Uh,
Homeland.
the
Is it a
Maiden, is
show?
it Maiden's Tale?
Oh, that one. Yeah. I've not seen that show, but yeah, I'm
The
pretty sure that's the one.
Handmaid's Tale,
Handmaid's
right?
Tale.
There
Handmaid's
you
Tale.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like the Handmaid's Tale. I watched the actual couple episodes of that, and yeah, like only 1 in 10 women can have like babies and stuff, and men are like control. Like something happened in the world where it goes back, and yeah, it's literally like a page out of that fucking show, um, that we're living in. So I think it's unconstitutional, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm actually surprised that it got past the Supreme Court
I
too.
agree. I actually think the bounty part is the part that I'm really surprised got past the Supreme Court. I'm like, that's really like that's constitutional. Like
It's not.
that's
It can't
it
be.
can't be. That can't like we cannot live in a society where you can write a law where you can like tattletale on your fucking neighbor or your school teacher or your friend or your coworker or whatever. Like for certain things. Like what if they banned guns and then they put out like bounties like oh yeah, that guy has a pistol and you get like a $500 bounty for reporting that or something. It's like what the fuck, dude? Like what? Like yeah, so no, I don't want to live in a society like that. That is like a really dangerous road. I feel like that we are going down. I mean, we live in Texas, both of us. Like I'm really uncomfortable with that part of the law. I don't like the 6 week thing either. I really dislike that too. And it's like putting them both together is really gross. It feels gross. But it's like I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean I agree. I mean, and like I said, not to be too political because I don't want to disregard our viewers or our listeners that are on the other side of the fence.
mhm.
And like I said, I totally get that, and like it's a life and um everything of that nature. So I get that. It's just I think the law is very draconian.
Yeah,
Like Justin said, I
right.
just I I can't in my rightful mind who actually appreciates having the rights of an American and everything of that nature. I think this is just giving way too much government control. I feel like if this was Democrats, this would be a totally different story.
Yeah,
Totally different. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you. Like, I think this law is way too far. I do believe that people on the other side of the issue have the right to have that opinion. And like I said, I think the conversation has enough gray in it that I can understand that perspective. But this law is a step way too far. But I think we should leave it at that. I
Yep.
think that was a good discussion. Um, and that's all we got for news, Montrell. Is there anything else you would like to discuss before we go today?
I thought I did have something to discuss. Just give me like 2 minutes. Can you talk for like 2 minutes? Because I think I had it somewhere.
Well, yep. There's a football game going on right now. I was just on Twitter, and I'm trying to really avoid spoilers on the score because I'm gonna watch it from the beginning of the game. But after we're done recording, I need to go make some food, and that requires me to go downstairs where my wife is watching the game. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that without getting spoiled. I'm probably gonna wear noise canceling headphones,
Oh my
and
god.
I don't know.
All
Hope to
right.
God I don't hear anything, I
Yeah,
guess.
unfortunately I couldn't remember. I did remember though, my friend in my group chat
Yeah.
said that he wasn't buying 2K and then he turned around and
Mm.
bought 2K.
Progress. Progress.
But he did say he wasn't gonna buy it first. Then he
Hold
turned
on.
around and buy it. He
Was that
bought it.
DJ?
Yeah, that was DJ.
Oh, that motherfucker. Because I saw him on Twitter say, "Man, I'm not buying 2K this year," and I was like, wasn't he the one that always bought it and disagreed with us heavily about our opinions on it? On it.
He wasn't going to buy it. I think that's progress. A lot of people saying they're not buying it this year, but they probably are going to buy it.
Mhm.
But you know what? I win the small wars. I appreciate the
Well,
small
maybe
battles.
next year he won't actually buy it. It's
I
like
agree.
he abstained. Excuse me. He abstained a little bit. It's like,
Yep. At
and
least he acknowledged that there are flaws in the game,
that's a
and
start, man.
a lot of other people are acknowledging that there are serious flaws within the game, and that's all I really wanted. Yeah.
Also, I do want to recommend Angry Joe's Madden 22 review. It's
Oh,
over an
it's out.
hour.
It's
Yeah,
out.
it's out. No, he did a full review of it this year. He doesn't usually do that. He actually played the game though a lot and did like a full fucking deep dive review. And my God, dude, it's a disaster. Like Madden is in a horrible state. I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of fan you are. We've had people tell us before, like, you can't have an opinion on this because you haven't played it in like 5 years or 4 years or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. If everything he showed in that video is, I can't believe that people lap that series up. Like, I just cannot believe it. So go watch that. It's very funny. There's some really hilarious fucking bugs in there in the game that they show. It's bonkers shit. They have there's like a yearly tradition they do where they go look at the create your own player thing, and they go through the faces that you can choose, and there was always like copy pasted faces within the menu where you'd have two of the same face, like one's number 5 and then the other one's like number 20, but it's literally the same face just to fill the menu out. And they actually put in effort to not do that this year, and they still had two that were the exact same. So some things never change, even when Madden tries to change them or EA tries to change them. But so check that out too. All right, Montrell, are you ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like the episode, review the show, and please subscribe to the show on whatever feed you are listening to it on, and please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That's the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that's it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next week. Bye.